Hey, everyone. This is Let Me See Your Transcript, your very favorite history teacher. Sorry, boy. How is everyone doing tonight? Sorry, I came on a little bit later, trying to get long day. and, teacher life. And also trying to get all the clips and stuff that I'm going to show tonight ready. Um, how are y'all doing? Please come on in the room. Um, hey, the respective angles, so glad that you can be here. Please, everyone, like, share, subscribe. Did I share this out like I was supposed to? So tonight, we got to talk about these three. Hey, Lindsay, so glad you can be here. So glad you can be here. Thank you so much. How is everyone doing? Do you got your drink, whether it's wine cooler, soda, tea, coffee, water? Do you have all that? Because you're going to, yeah. Okay, so, sorry, boy. Hey, boy. Yeah, I my attention when I got from home. Now you still want my attention. Okay, so let me go ahead and, boy, we talked about this. So, but yeah, let me go ahead and put the picture up in case some of y'all, I don't think y'all forgot. I think y'all know who we're going to talk about today. You know them better as Herschel Walker, Umar Johnson, and Kanye West. I'm going to call them Mo, Larry, Curly tonight. That's who they are. That's who they are going to be for me. Because this is like it's the Three Stooges. Okay? And the last week that they have been on this internet, I just feel like I want to mute all of them. Just we had a mute R. Kelly movement, which helped get him into these trials. We need a mute Herschel Walker. We need a mute Umar Johnson a long time ago, by the way. We need a mute Kanye West. And they probably are. I mean, it would look like Lindsay. It would definitely look like an episode or a movie of the Three Stooges. Because they would be trying to talk to each other crazy while trying to talk to us crazy. Okay? It's just Fix it, Jesus. Help us, Mama. Boy. Oh, Lord. Please like, share, subscribe. If you have an Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, email address, text, please share so that everyone gets here. Let me make sure. Because I'm just, I'm tired, y'all. Not tired, I'm tired. Just tired. I'm just tired. Okay. I think this is it. All right. Ooh. Okay, I think I got that. Let me put it over there on my. Herschel up here pretending to be cops. Bad boys, bad boys. There's actually a movie called Let's Pretend We're Cops. Let's pretend we're cops. And that's what I feel like. And so I have 3 clips that I'm going to show tonight. I also have it in my description if you want to go back and watch them. I did not watch the Herschel Walker, Raphael, and Warnock debate, which I should have. It was also a for Texas governor. There was a Beto O'Rourke versus Governor Abbott debate, which I should have watched too. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe one day I'll do a reaction video. But it's just, I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, fix it, Jesus. Help us, Mama Oya. I mean, I need all the gods from all religions to come on to help with this one. Hey, Mike, I'm so glad you can see you. We're trying to arrest everybody. Oh, Val Demons? Who is Val? Okay, I gotta check that. I gotta check that. But yeah, just over here, just then the people said, and the lady said, I'm not sure what the lady said. She said, we told you. She almost did a Gail King. Herschel. We talked about this. You know, so I'm just like, yeah. So let me, so in case, you know, some people coming over, this is who we talking about, y'all. All right. These are the 3 stooges. For the past week, so the weekend, their mouths have been running and they've been putting their foot in their mouths. They need to be muted. Like this craziness. And I'm just tired. Hey, Ann B. He's right. He'd be like, Trump, I didn't lose. It's a fake election. It was stolen from me. Wait, former, I said she's a U.S. rep, but running for U.S. in Florida against Marco Rubio. All right, I hope she wins. I really do. But this is Mo, Larry, and Curly, y'all. Mo, Larry, Curly. Tired of them. Okay, let me share my screen of the first. Okay. So before we get started, you know, we have to hold on. Do that. And go. All right. This video is protected by Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Okay. And I am going to put the link to the News Nation's channel in the chat for you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Okay. Hey, JD Informer, so glad you can be here. All right. So I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to let you listen. And then I'm going to come back with the commentary in the words of Dawson Speaks.
Congress passed the first bipartisan legislation to combat gun violence in 30 years. According to a Pew Research poll released in July, 78% of Americans think the new gun law will do little or nothing to reduce gun violence. Senator Warnock, I turn to you first. As the number of shootings in Georgia and across the nation continue to rise, what should be done? What should the next step be to solve this issue? You have to answer this question, sir, and I give you 1 minute.
Well, I'm glad that we finally passed the first gun safety law in 30 years. And we did that on a bipartisan basis. I believe that this law will indeed save lives. And I'd like to see us work and see what we can achieve beyond that on a bipartisan basis. My heart goes out when I see the kinds of tragedies that we're witnessing all across our state, all across our country. And it's the reason why I have passed legislation to support law enforcement. I passed the largest investment in the COPS program in a decade. I introduced legislation called Invest to Protect that's endorsed by the sheriffs of Burke County and Scriven County because it supports some of our smaller law enforcement entities. So we got to stand up with law enforcement, but we've also got to create opportunity.
Senator Warnock, thank you. Mr. Walker, we're posing the same question to you, sir. In 1 minute, what should the next step be to solve gun violence?
Well, first of all, any law or bill passed that will affect anyone's Second Amendment, I'm not going to stand for and I won't support. But third, to hear Senator Warnock talks about supporting law enforcement is sad because he's called them names. And because of the name calling he's done, the morale is down, recruitment is down, only because of what he's done. He's empowered criminals to think they're better than the police. And because he believes in no cash bail, is releasing prisoners, he don't protect the border. Fentanyl is coming to this country and also into Atlanta. 70% of the drugs coming from the border goes to Atlanta, Georgia. And he talks about the police. I have more sheriff that has endorsed me than.
Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Boy, stop. I feel like with Senator Warnock, because he's a U.S. Senator, those things he's mentioned, I definitely need to go back and double check. But I feel like they're verifiable. All right. But this man, he didn't even start off his speech. He started off like he did. Like, I understand some people have speech impediments, but you're supposed to come on here and like make me want to vote for you. Then he says, I quote, he's hurt the policeman's feelings by calling them names. Are we in middle school, high school now? I mean, can you hear me now? Can y'all hear me? Put a one in the chat. Then he said, oh, he's 70% of the gun violence comes from guns from the border. Okay, y'all, do we need to look at a map? Okay, do we need to look at a map? I'm from Texas. The border is like near, hey, Black Anonymous, Mrs. Murph. The border is like near us, like literally there. So I'm trying to figure out, did they like get on ships from Mexico straight to Atlanta, Georgia? Because Atlanta, Georgia is on the Atlantic side. Are they going from Mexico to Houston, then to Atlanta? Like, how are they getting them across? And my thing is this: I'm sure the violence probably in Atlanta. By the way, Atlanta is not the only city or town in Georgia. There are other ways that you can get guns besides from Mexico. I mean, like, I'm just saying, okay. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna let me.
Anyone running in Georgia right now. And I even have some sheriffs here, they've endorsed me because they know I have their back, they're gonna have my backs. So to listen to him say that after calling them name, I think is a disgrace.
They gonna have his back or his bags? Back or bags? What did y'all hear? Back or bags? Yeah. But Lindsay and Black Anonymous, don't forget when I did the video and I mentioned about Herschel Walker and the whole about him not, remembering that he got an paid for an abortion. He has a DID which is used to be called multiple personality disorder, but it's called dissociative identity disorder. And I'm thinking he don't probably remember. And that makes a good point. Did the CTE cause him to have DID, or did he have DID already before the CTE? Okay, I'm just like, Republicans, y'all just want to find any black person out here to run against Senator Warnock. This is who y'all pick. Oh yeah, I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna bring that up, and then he gonna say, "Well, I gave her the check, but I didn't pay for the abortion." What you give her the check for then? Then he said he gives money to a lot of people, and he don't know the lady that he gave the check to. Guess who the lady was? The lady was one of his baby mamas, because she got pregnant again by him and decided to keep that baby.
Mr. Walker, thank you. I have a follow-up now for both of you.
I think I ought to be able to respond to that.
I will give you the opportunity, 15 seconds to respond, Senator Warnock.
We will see time and time again tonight, as we've already seen, that my opponent has a problem with the truth. And just because he said something doesn't mean it's true. I have supported our police officers. I've called them and I've prayed with their families, like those officers lost in Cobb County when they were killed, doing what police officers routinely do. You can support police officers, as I've done, through the COPS program, through the Invest to Protect program, while at the same time holding police officers, like all professions, accountable. One thing I have not done, I've never pretended to be a police officer, and I've never threatened a shootout with the police.
Well, and now I have to respond to that.
We are moving on,
I
gentlemen.
have to respond to that. And you know what's so funny? I am with many police officers, and at the same time, with many police officers. And at the same time,
Mr. Walker.
No. And you know what's so funny? I am with many.
Sir. Sir. What does that have to do with the question? What does that have to do with the rebuttal? Matter of fact, I don't even see any ID. Okay, who's in law enforcement? Don't normally, when they have the badge like that, isn't there like an ID or something in there with their name? Hey, African Lemonade. JD Informant. I like third parties too, but right now, this is a U.S. federal Congress position. We need someone who's going to be able to defeat Walker. You know, but I understand. Yeah, which one? And then it said A and B. It also said in men, DID shows up most of the time as anger. You know, and then with women, it's usually like a blackout, like you don't remember, you know. So I don't need you getting upset at somebody in Congress because they have a different opinion like you. You said that. You said the Amazon badge. I'm sorry, I look like one of the badges when the kids go on the field trip and they're like, "I'm gonna make you a part of the department." They give them the badge. I'm sorry. I just feel like. What is I feel like police okay? Yes, Lizzie, you're thinking the same thing. Right.
police officers, and at the same time,
Mr. Walker, Mr. Walker,
No.
Mr. Walker,
When he
Mr.
said a
Walker,
problem with
excuse
the
me,
truth-
Mr. Walker,
when he
please,
said a problem
out of
with the truth,
respect,
the truth is
I
in
need to
here.
let you know, Mr.
Yes.
Walker, you are very well
Yes.
aware of the rules tonight.
Yes.
And you have a prop.
Yes.
That is not allowed, sir. I
Yes.
ask you to put that prop away.
Well, it's not a problem. This is real. And he said, I have a problem. I never
It
worked
is
with law
considered a
enforcement.
prop, Mr. Walker.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
You're very well aware of the rules, aren't you?
Well,
Are you aware of the
he
rules?
brought up the truth. Let's talk about the truth.
Thank you for putting that
Yes.
prop away. And as a matter of fact, we still have a lot to get to, and we are not going to continue this. We're going to follow up with a question. And this is according to the CDC. Homicide is the leading cause of death for African-American youth. Mr. Walker, in 30 seconds, why do you believe this is happening? And what would you do to stop it?
Well, what I would do is hold people accountable, which is Senator Warnock not doing. Believing in no cash bail, no accountability, that is a problem. People must be accountable for their action. And the truth lies with Senator Warnock, because he said he was going to Washington to represent Georgia. He went to Washington to represent Joe Biden. That's the reason we're in the mess we're in today, because he represents Joe Biden and not the truth for Georgia.
Senator Warnock, this follow-up for you. Same question. What do you believe homicides among African-American youth is growing? Why are those homicides growing, sir? And how do we stop it?
Well, it's heartbreaking. And I've seen this up close as a pastor. I've presided over some of these funerals. I've met with young people. And we have to have rules and laws in the society, which I support and I've invested in as a legislator. At the same time, we have to create opportunity. There's no sickness like the loss of hope. When people lose hope, when they doubt that their life can be any longer or that they can dream of something bigger than the street they live on, a lot of things can happen. I grew up in one of those neighborhoods, but I had a nurturing family, and I benefited from good federal public policy, like the Head Start program, like Upward Bound, like Pell Grants and low-interest student loans. And to invest in our children is to invest in our best resource.
Senator Warnock, thank you. We are moving on.
Thank you for watching. Go to news.
She's like, Senator Warnock. She reminded me of Gail when Gail did that interview with R. Kelly, and she kept saying, Robert. Not Senator Warnock. She kept saying, Mr. Walker, you know the rules. You know the rules. You're not allowed to have a prop, and that's a prop. He's like, oh no, this is real. Dude, that was no idea. Who keeps wearing a vacation Bible school necklace? You got me looking. Who wearing a vacation Bible school necklace?
Not doing. Believing in no.
You got me looking. Girl, I don't know. Okay, here is News Nation. Please like, share, subscribe. They have some other clips in case you want to go back and look at it again. Like, wait. And then did he not say Senator Warnock's name correctly? Thank you, Mr. Green. Yes, it's 13 in the chat. I need to have 13 likes. Oh, not 15. Come on now. Come on in the room. I'm sorry. The way he said, it's bad. I want SNL. Did SNL do something with that this past weekend? They need to do it this weekend because somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to do it. Okay. Here's the next one. Okay. So, in case those of you just came in, we are talking about the Three Stooges. And if you ever notice, like, Mo is always the one that tries to keep everybody in order, but he does crazy or something crazy too. That's what I feel about Walker. He's Mo. Okay. Next, we're gonna talk about Larry, aka Dr. Umar Johnson, aka Dr. Umar Mfatunde. He actually did on Instagram and Facebook last week. He did a Black parent question and answer session at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Right? I believe it was last Tuesday. Was it last Tuesday? Yeah. And I saw it. Shout out to KKC because I saw it while I was driving to work. And what I heard was very disturbing. And it's one, if you go to his Instagram or you go to his Facebook, you're able to see it. It's October the 11th. But there was on King Kong Consciousness page, they did play a clip of some advice he gave a student. And this is the one that made me mad the most. So I think I heard 3 different advice he gave the parents. And this last one, I was just like screaming, yelling at the radio. And I just was like, I wish I could have talked to that mother that he was giving that information to, because it was just, ugh. It was, oh Lord. Y'all gonna hear it. Y'all gonna hear it. So here we go. Okay. So.
My youngest son is 17 years old. He has a white girlfriend. What do I do about this? Is this okay? She's a very nice girl, very pretty, but my wife is upset that she is white.
2 students who made a witness statement.
His private parts to the. I should have heard from you last week. He has a hearing today. How can I be an important decision? Dr. Umar, you are my GOAT. How can I be an advocate for my son? Come get the training, Sister D'Amica, in Philadelphia, November the 19th. He's being accused of pulling his private parts out in class. He has a hearing today at 2:45. It's his word against theirs. I believe they're going to find in favor of the 2 white students without even listening to his side. Oh, man. I should have heard from you last week, Sister Danica.
Hello.
Okay, so he's this was like a Black parent call-in question and answer. He had it at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time last week. I believe it was October the 11th. And this was one of the calls he had that really, like I said, really made me mad. This parent is calling and asking him, her son is having a hearing, right? He's having a hearing because last Friday, the previous Friday, there was an incident at school, and 2 students said that he pulled out his private parts and exposed himself. Okay. It happened Friday, but then she wasn't kind of like, I want to say not notified till Monday to come pick him up from school. So I guess over the weekend, the kids must have told their parents or whatever, and then they contacted her. So this day, Tuesday at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, she's calling him for advice. Like, I'm just like, woman, you are really desperate if you calling him to help you. But I was also mad at the lady because guess what? She had an appointment, like they have a hearing when it's a disciplinary issue. They had a disciplinary hearing at 2:45 that day. And I'm thinking, like, you couldn't call nobody else? I am human first. You better don't get me in trouble. Y'all get me in trouble now. And you know what? I was listening to this and I kept thinking, like, is this real? But my thing is, the advice he gave whether it was real or not, but I think it's real. His advice was harmful. And I was like, man, if I could just speak to that woman and tell her what to do. There was like only one thing out of what he said that I agree with you. He said, don't go there by yourself. You know, I would think take another parent, grandparent, or if she was in Houston, I could just refer her to I know a couple of educational advocates who can go with her. When I used to help kids who were on juvenile probation, that was my job. I would advise the parent, like, hey, they're having problems at school. What can you do to help me? And one of those things was I would like basically coach them or help them go through like how to talk or what to say, or like help them draft a letter to give to the school. And I would actually go to these disciplinary or their, I would ask, can I have permission to go to their art meetings? And so, because I wanted to be there to help the parent. And so there needs to be someone who wants to go with that parent. But y'all listen, he could be, because it was like people were calling in or texting in or something like that. So y'all listen. Okay.
Peace and love, Sister D'Amica. Dr. Umar, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
I just saw your text message. Question, what grade is your son in?
He is a sophomore.
He's in high school.
Yes.
And where did he allegedly expose his private parts to these students? Where did this happen? Bathroom, playground? Where did this happen?
Right in class, right in the middle of a session.
Okay, was the teacher in the classroom?
Yes.
Did the teacher see him expose his privates?
No.
Okay, so help me understand how he did this in the class. And they're claiming that who saw it? Two snow bunnies? Who's claiming they saw it?
A white male student. From what they will not tell us who the witnesses are. They just claimed yesterday that there were two students who made a witness statement, and as of yesterday, they have suspended him for 3 days until his hearing, which they scheduled for today. And that's pretty much all of the information that we have. This is not my son's character. I understand that, boys make stupid mistakes, but this is not him at all. And he is saying, no, I did not do this. Now, the one student sits right beside him. The other student, from what we are thinking, it could only be these two students. The teacher was in the back of the classroom. From what another teacher who I spoke with yesterday told me, is that her classroom is not a well-lit room. And after they were doing their classwork, he said that he had leaned back, and another student in front of him actually turned around to face him and the two students beside him, and they were just talking. And after class, they left class, and he's heading, because this is the last class of the day, they're heading to the bus, and two random kids approached him and were basically saying, hey, we heard from another kid. We don't know who it is. We're not telling you who it is, but they said you did this. And is it true? And they're laughing, and they're, making light of the situation. He told me about this Friday, because this is when they're alleging this happened. I'd advised him to just leave it alone, because these are just kids being kids, saying stupid things. Monday, this is when the school contacted me saying, I guess over the weekend, that these kids went home and told their parents that this is what he allegedly did. And they got in contact with the school. The students made a witness statement. And from here, now he has a hearing today. All of a sudden, I regret now not getting in contact with the school on Friday about the situation, because to me, these are just kids being kids, saying.
Now, I do agree with her here. She should have, when her son came home, she should have called that school. She should have called the teacher saying, hey, I need to talk to you, call a principal or someone, email someone, because now she's on Monday, got to go pick her kid up from school, you know.
Whatever against him, but now it's going to a level where this will go on his record. And if found guilty of this today, they're going to try and send him to an alternative school for, I believe they said 45 to 60 days based off of 2 students.
Okay. Is he a special ed student?
He is not.
Okay. Couple
questions.
questions.
Honors class.
And this is an honors class.
Yes.
So he's high achieving and has never really been in trouble before.
Never.
Okay. Couple of things. Number one, okay. Here, I'm wondering this. If he did this, these 2 witnesses, first of all, they said discipline school. It sounds like, is this an expulsion hearing? What kind of hearing is this? Is this expulsion to put him out the school, to put him out the district?
They are not saying that it's to put him out.
What did you receive an official letter from them inviting you to this hearing?
No.
You did not receive an official letter?
No.
Then you don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to advocate for my son because
okay.
They're not telling me anything.
Okay, stay with me. You found out about this when? Wednesday?
This happened Friday. The situation happened Friday.
The situation happened this Friday that just passed.
Yes.
And how did you get invited to the hearing? How did you get invited? Did they call you? How did you get invited to the hearing?
So I was at work yesterday. They called me to inform me that I needed to come and pick up my son because there was these 2 students made a witness statement against him. And at that point, he is being, he has to go home just based off of what they said. So that was Friday. For me, that was yesterday.
Yesterday was a holiday. He was in school yesterday.
Yes, they actually went to school yesterday.
Okay, understood.
Out of school.
So the situation happened Friday. They called you yesterday to come pick him up. What time did they call you? The morning?
They actually went to school yesterday.
Okay, understood.
Out of school.
So the situation happened Friday. They called you yesterday to come pick him up. What time did they call you? The morning, the afternoon?
It was about 2:00 in the afternoon because I was still at work. I had to leave work to go pick him up from school.
Okay, so the situation happened Friday, but you didn't hear about the situation from the school until yesterday.
Yes.
Okay, so you picked him up yesterday. Is that when they invited you to the hearing today? How did they?
Once I picked him up, they let me know the hearing is scheduled for today at 2:45 in the afternoon. That's the first time.
Okay, what I would do if it were me is I would go to this hearing with someone else. Do not go by yourself. Do not go in there by yourself. Take somebody with you, another responsible adult. Do not go alone. You can bring your son if you want, but definitely take another adult and tell them I am simply here to hear what you all have to say. And I am demanding a statement on paper from you all involving this situation, what your disciplinary recommendation is, because I need to have a conversation with my attorney. That's exactly what I would say. Don't you sign nothing. Don't you agree to nothing. In fact, if you could take a lawyer with you, I would take a lawyer with you. What time is it today?
2:45.
Well, this is what I would do. I would call around to some attorneys. I don't know if you're going to get anybody to come on such short notice, but I would rather reschedule than go without an attorney. I would rather reschedule than go without an attorney.
Okay.
You call them, my son is being accused of exposing himself to 2 students. There's no proof at all that he did this except the hearsay of 2 students. Here's what I don't understand. And these are 2 questions you may want to ask.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, because you got nothing on paper, you might not have to go at all. Like, I would call the school, get the email for the principal. Always deal with the principal, because the principal is the only person legally responsible in that building for the decisions made in that building. Don't.
Okay, let me. Hey, Josephine. Yeah, I wonder if it's a fake call or a real call, because it's just. But either way, whether it's fake or real, his advice is problematic, and all I could think about is poor kids. This poor kid. Okay, so remember, it's 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. She got a meeting at 2:45 that day. Okay, so one, she should have called the school on Friday when her son came home and told her that. Okay, she should have been on top of it. And then, like, she even said, like, I don't know how to go to this meeting and advocate for my kid. I would have been, if I had to go pick him up on Monday, I would have been calling, talking to somebody. I do agree with him. Don't go by yourself. Okay. Now he was wrong and incorrect when he said, "Oh, they just gave you a verbal invitation to this meeting. It's supposed to be in writing." If you look in their student code of conduct or their handbook, it may say verbal or written. Now, if it say written, you can always use that against them and say, "Hey, you did not give me enough notice for this meeting." Okay. I kind of agree with him, but someone disagree with him when he says like, if she can reschedule, yes, so that she can get someone to go with her. I don't know about a lawyer. Okay. I definitely would, like I said, if she was in Houston, I know people that she can, an educational advocate who can go with her. Maybe a community activist, maybe a minister or a counselor, someone, maybe someone more wise or educated in the family, just not anybody in the family. I don't know about the lawyer thing. Also, this sounds like a expulsion would mean they would just kick him out of the school and he would go either to the it depends on the city. So like Houston, you can get kicked out of the school. I won't say kicked out. You get sent to the alternative school in the district where you can come back after so many months. Then there's others that are so severe, they get kicked out of the school district and they have to go to the county, okay, alternative school, okay? Or they may have to find a whole nother school district to go to, okay? So like I said, parents, your student handbook, very important, okay? Because I had to do that with some parents. I had to go to, like, okay, what the school district is, what's in their handbook. Okay, this is the rules. It says right here. And I was trying to help them, like, through that process, okay? And that's why also I feel like it's problematic with him. He did not ask her, well, man, what school district are you in? Because while that lady was talking, I would be over here looking them up and saying, okay. And then she's like, oh, you need to call them and get the email address of the principal. And he said the principal, hey, various perspectives, is the only one in charge with this one. That is wrong. Okay. There are assistant principals. Okay. Usually there's an assistant principal, usually two or more, either by grade level or by alphabet, who are in charge of discipline. Because guess what? The principal is in charge of all of the students, all of the faculty and staff in the building. They're in charge of how the building is run. Okay? No, this was, hey, Teresa Jackson, it was scheduled at the school. That's why when he said, oh, a lawyer, I was like, I don't know if you should take a lawyer. Hey, LMSYT presents. So when he said, oh, call them, the principal's the only one who can charge her. No, they're not. And what he probably should have told mom, he actually can, mom, can you go to the high school's website, click on administration, and look at who is the 10th grade assistant principal by last name. They may have their email address there or their phone number. Okay? So yeah, I just had some problems with, yeah. Whew, Lord, okay.
Don't deal with the dean, don't deal with the vice. I'm dealing with the principal. I would call the school and get the principal's email, and I would send an email. I was called to pick up my school yesterday. I was invited to a hearing today. I received nothing on paper. I received nothing on paper. I am demanding at this time a statement from the school with regard to what happened, the proof against the allegations, the proof against my son, okay, the recommended disciplinary action, and what type of hearing am I being invited to?
So a couple of things. One, the mom should have asked that question the day before. What type of hearing am I going to? Who's all going to be there? Is it just with the assistant principal, the counselor, the teacher that this incident happened in? Will the two students be in there? Okay. And in her case, I would told her, email the assistant principal, her son's assistant principal, CC the principal on it, ask those same questions, but guess what? Also call them. We get schools, teachers, staff, faculty, principal, get tons of emails a day. You need to make sure that, hey, I called you and I sent you an email. Because guess what? An email can always be printed. Okay, and proof like, hey, I called you, I contacted you about this incident. Okay. All right.
You should have been given something on paper. And the fact that you have been given nothing on paper tells me they're trying to shaft your son. They're trying to do this off the books, and they're hoping you'll go along with it. He cannot be expelled because two students said he showed themselves, and he denies it, and there's no proof. I'm trying to understand two questions. Number one, why didn't they tell the teacher immediately? Why wasn't the teacher told in the class? He showed his wee-wee, and they didn't go tell the teacher. That doesn't make any sense. Think about that. Think about that. A child is going to say immediately, what are you doing? They're going to jump up and make a scene. You're not going to wait to the last minute to tell that. You tell that immediately. So why didn't they tell immediately? That's number one. And number two, how could the teacher not see this or know about this?
Yes.
It sounds like total nonsense.
Exactly.
Oh, he actually has a point there. How come, what's going on in the classroom that the students, if they saw something, didn't tell the teacher? Okay. Sometimes high school students, they're scared and they may have told the teacher or another adult afterwards. Okay. But anyway, it really should have been handled then. If you're a principal, you're a teacher, and you find out about an incident, you can either call from your room, or if you have the cell phone number or text message to the AP or the principal, then they can come to your room and take that student out and then take them to the office. Then call their parents right there. Yeah, that's what they did. And I think that happened too. The students told their friend, because sometimes you say, oh, so-and-so did, and then once it started spreading, then the parent heard it over the weekend, and then they went and got who's the information. And then sometimes another student will say to a teacher that they, feel comfortable, like, hey, miss, I heard about this incident. Don't tell me it was me, but I heard, but I think someone should know, so I have, this is the thing. If the school district has a zero tolerance policy, either on, drugs, knives, guns, and also, let's say, sex, because that's, in a way, you can say that's sexual harassment. That may be, hey, grounds for automatic expulsion or automatic suspension. And so, however, most school districts and schools have an appeals process. And a parent can request a review by someone higher than the principal. who then can put the student back into the school or the classroom. Okay.
What I would do, and I'm gonna be honest with you, technically, because you have nothing on paper, they didn't tell you he can't come to school. Technically, without them giving you something on paper, they have no right to deny him education. And that needs to, you know what? A couple things you're gonna do. I don't think you go to that meeting today. You could, if you go, take somebody with you, sign nothing. I am here to hear from you all, but I must leave with a statement of the accusation against my son, the recommended disciplinary, sanction, and the evidence. That you could go to get a statement. You could. Okay, you could. I'm not against, but sign nothing and agree to nothing. I'm here for a statement because I need to have a conversation with my attorney. Okay. So you could, or you could not go, but send an email in place of you going until I get something in.
An email is not enough. Call them to reschedule and send an email and ask them like, hey, can you please send me a copy of those statements? You can say, oh, my educational advocate that I'm bringing with me would like to see it, or my lawyer last resort, but don't even say education. I would like to see it. Okay. But him saying, oh, I wouldn't even go. I would just send them email is not enough. They get tons of emails a day. Call and email. Okay.
Writing, I'm not attending. And if I don't get something in writing by tomorrow, my son will be returning. Because why was it? You said they said he was suspended, right?
Yes.
But did you get a suspension letter?
No.
This doesn't sound right. If your son has been officially suspended,
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Exactly. Him telling her, like, oh, you don't hear from the school, send your kid back up. No, they're going to put your kid in ISS or SAC until you come and pick them up. Don't do that. That's what I'm saying. This is problematic. She needs to call the school to reschedule, and then she needs to also send it by email and say, hey, can you please send me a copy of they didn't ever give me a suspension, whatever form. Can I get a copy of the statements? And can we come on Thursday or Friday instead of today? Okay. She's gonna send her kid to school, drop him off, and they're gonna put him in SAC until she come back and get him. Right. This is not the person you should talk to. Like, either you really, like she said earlier, I don't know how to advocate for my child. So she called him, and I'm just like, there was nobody in your community. There was nobody you could Google. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, I wish she was in Houston, because I would know where to tell her to go, who to talk to. Right. Oh, this whole situation is like, come on, man. I was mad at him and I was mad at her. I was like, what is going on?
State law demands you must get a suspension letter. They must tell you he is suspended for 3 days for
I've had students in the past, or they told the procedure at the school. A student is suspended, a parents pick them up. Usually there's a form or a paper. It'll say like their name, their date, and it'll say how many days that they're suspended for, if it's SAC or ISS, or if it's in school suspension or out of school suspension. And so I'm trying to figure out, they didn't give her like a little form like that when she went to pick him up on Monday at 2 o'clock. And if they didn't, she should have asked for something. To like, well, where's, okay, can I have all, you know, she should have asked for that. But like you said, she's very passive about this. Exactly. He's been accused of sexual harassment. Well, technically what he did was kind of like sexual harassment, or what do you call it? Because you expose yourself to other people. It's also considered sexual harassment. So he's not making an environment, his actions do not create a very safe environment. So they're gonna put him in ISS until his mama comes back up there, or until his hearing. And he's like, oh, tell her to go bring him back to school. No, they're gonna put him in ISS. They don't call you back and say, ma'am, come pick your son up. He can't be here.
Exposing himself. They cannot send him home without any documentation. So what I would do, call around to the lawyers, call the school, get the principal's email the principal. I need a statement immediately. If he's suspended, what are the consequences? What is the evidence? Okay, as well as what type of hearing are we having? And it has to be postponed, because until I get something in writing, I'm not coming in. And if I don't get something in writing within 24 hours, my son will be returning to school. It is illegal for you to deny him education for a reason that has not been placed on paper and the parent hasn't been notified. By law, when a kid is suspended, he has a right to 3 things. He has a right to know the charges. He has a right to know the evidence against him. And he has a right to challenge the evidence against him, right? So maybe they've done all 3. I don't know. But if they have done all 3, you should have gotten a letter. He cannot be home without a written reason. That's the point that I mean. It is illegal for your son to be home without a written reason. You have been given nothing at all. That's not a good place. Nah, they can't do that. They can't do that. And you know what I think? I think they kind of know that they can't do what they want to do with your son. So they're hoping you're just going to go along with this.
Yes. Well, we are ready to fight this for sure. But with nothing on paper, like you were explaining before, I just don't know how to properly advocate for him without just going in there and being extremely angry.
Don't be angry. White folks want you to do that. Don't be angry. White folks want you to do that. Be firm, be strong, don't be friendly, but don't be emotional. That's how they get us. This is a chess match. Emotions has no place in chess. Decisions in war must be made rationally. Don't be angry. Go in there with somebody, though. You know, if it were me, I'm thinking, do I go or do I send an email? I think I send an email. You know why? Because it's 7:30 in the morning. School is just starting. I think I'm sending an email and I'm giving them 24 hours to provide me with something on paper that explains to me what is going on and why my son is being denied an education. And I will be consulting with my attorney. I would put that in there. And then I'm spending all day today to find a lawyer to see what I need to do next. And because what should happen is the lawyer should tell you to go ahead and reschedule and they will come. In fact, if you want, just call around and get a lawyer first, and you can probably send them their letter before the school day is out, just in case the lawyer wants to call them himself, or if the lawyer says, I'm going to go with you. See if you can get a lawyer first. But if you can't find anybody to go with you today, you must send them a letter today. And you must give them 24 hours to provide you in writing with the charges against your son and the consequences, and say exactly what they said. You know, y'all send him home without any paperwork. I said he was suspended, but I didn't receive a suspension notice, because if he was suspended, he goes back to school after 3 days. But you have no suspension notice. Without a reason for him not to be in school, he must be in school. And what you can do, Queen, you got my number. You can forward me your letter, and I can take a look at it before you send it in. But get that principal's email.
Okay.
And you know what else you might want to do? You might also want to get the superintendent's email downtown and carbon copy the superintendent on your email to the principal. So that way somebody downtown knows what's going on. But it is absolutely 100% illegal for your son to be denied education without a written reason. You have to give written notification. That's the law. Your son is home. And we don't even know why. Technically, we don't even know why. Technically, it looks like you just took them out of school.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so find a lawyer, get those emails, draft that letter, let me see it. If you are moved in your spirit to go to that meeting, sign nothing, agree to nothing, don't leave without a statement, and you must take somebody with you. Do not go by yourself no matter what.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
keep me
you
posted.
so much for your time.
No problem. All right, sweetie.
Right, respective angle. Lindsay, you brought up a really good point. And also respective angle. So he's in sophomore year of high school, and he's in an honors program, and a parent doesn't know the process of school system in school. This is the thing. If he has never been in trouble before, she wouldn't know the process for if, oh, sorry, I got something. She wouldn't know the process of like the disciplinary process. But still, I'm thinking like, maybe because I'm looking for, I'm a teacher on the inside, so I know more than her. But it's like she didn't think to call the office. My son is being accused of exposing himself. I'm not gonna call on a Friday and go back up there. You know, Monday they tell you for our first thing Monday morning. You come to pick him up at 2:00 and then give you a paper saying, "Hey, we have a hearing tomorrow at 2:45. Bring this, and that," or "Hey, this paper saying he's gonna be suspended 3 days." Yeah, it could be also a rumor. Maybe there was an argument. Is your son telling you the whole truth, man? Is your son telling you the whole truth? Okay. Like you said, Lindsay, if this is if there's like 0 tolerance policy on sexual harassment, like exposure, fighting, guns, knives, alcohol, in this situation, they can call the police. There have been fights at school, and the police has been arrested a student. Okay, I've dealt with kids on juvenile probation, and they have done something at school. Okay, they got them on juvenile probation. Okay, all right. Just and she kept saying, "I don't know how to advocate for my." Oh my, ma'am, I just want to. Where you at so I can go with you? And then he gonna say, draft the letter. Okay, drafting a letter or email is not enough. You need to call. You need to speak up. And like she said, I'd rather go in there and be angry. I agree with him. Like, hey, don't go in there angry, go in there off. Be firm and assertive, but not off. But I will also tell her, like, hey, once you go for you this meeting, write some questions down you want to ask. So you know what to say in there when you go in there. So but I'm not just for the just in an email, they don't hear from me and me show with my kid the next day because you didn't give me a piece of paper, because they'll say, well, man, why didn't you call up here? Now, if the school did make mistakes, that's where you like, hey, I'm looking at your student code of conduct. Well, I don't know why he didn't say that. Go to the school district or the school website. Look at your student code of conduct. What does it say the procedure is? Because then you can go to the meeting and say, well, you didn't abide by the procedure. Or in an email, you can say that, hey, you didn't abide by the procedure. I was supposed to be notified at this time for this reason, and I need to, Right, Teresa, right. And asking him this question is like, you have to understand, in this country compared to some other countries, we are in a federal system. Okay. Our education system is not nationalized. The national government doesn't run our education system. They do run things to help our state and local and county, education systems, like, financial aid. They give funding to different schools. They try to, increase, reward teachers, reward schools and students, stuff like that. But in other countries, their national government runs the education system. So they're getting paid of the rules, and everyone is getting the same set of rules and the same set of procedures. Okay. But over here, it's by county or it's by city or by school district, and you need to know what they are. A lot of times when I was in my office, when I worked with kids on juvenile probation, I used to keep a little in my phone and also in my little notebook, all the different school districts. I think I even put made a Word doc, all the different school districts of the kids that I dealt with. Because Harris County is big. It is the largest county in Texas. Okay. Houston is the largest city in the state. Guess what? They're like, let's say, A-Leaf, Spring Branch, Katy, Houston IC, Alden IC, Spring. There are 6 school districts inside of the Houston city limits. No, 5. I'm sorry, take that back. 5. No. Yeah, 5 or 6. Because sometimes the way they're drawn. So there's 6 school districts in Houston city limits. Within the county, we got, let me see, Clear Creek, Humble, Klein. Oh, what's that? Goose Creek. It's one more. That's 10 school districts in the county. By the way, the county has their own school. Because guess what? If you get kicked out of one of the school districts, 11, Sheldon ISD. It might be another one. Okay? Yeah. If you get kicked out of one of the school districts, you have to go somewhere else. Not all of those school districts have an alternative school. So they contracted with the county to send the student to one of the, either their Harris County, I think it's either East or West campus. And if it's really severe, they're sending them to JJAEP, which is I think it's Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program, which was next door to the Harris County Juvenile Education Department. So I work with kids who were like next door at JJAEP. And I had some kids who were at the Harris County Education Center. And I had some who were still at their schools. And I had some, I was trying to find them a school for them to go to, because guess what? The parent did not want them to go to the school district's alternative program because they're like, oh, it's a bad school. But in my mind, I'm thinking like, well, your kid did something bad though. So I had to find them like either another school district or another charter school that was willing to take them. So, or sometimes to help them draft a letter to request testing or referral to special ed. Okay. That's why I had a hard time with those letters in his book. I was like, that's not okay. So yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, ma'am, are you embarrassed because you're having this conversation, or you believe in your son? Like, oh, we were just joking around. Like, who jokes around and exposes themselves? Like, is it because your son is in honors classes and these are people he's competing with, you know, for their GPA or some type of award, are they lying on him? Like, I got so, yeah. Like Respected Angle said, we need answers. Like, we need answers. And here is the rest of King Kong Consciousness. Is about let me see. It's about 4.5 minutes left on this one. So if you want to go and watch the rest. If you want to watch the whole, I think the whole thing was 1 hour and 56 minutes on Facebook. It's part 1. Then it was a part 2, was like 38 minutes. So I was like, oh, I can't get through all that. I just can't. All right. And let me also put KKC's video in here where he also went over and shout out to him because he was up at 6 a.m. and everybody was on here listening. So, and he does a good breakdown of it too. So, but yeah, I'm just like, nah, son. this ain't it. This ain't it. Oh Lord, y'all. Now I'm letting y'all know I'm getting a little bit sleepy, but I have to do this last one now. So I'm gonna need some more likes. I need some more sharing. Hit a sister's cash app. Hit a sister's super chat or something. I need some motivation. Cause Lord, we gotta do with Curly. Gotta do with Curly. Okay. All right. So we've been dealing with the 3 Stooges, Mo, Larry, and Curly. Did Mo, did Larry, now we done to Curly. Like I said earlier, all 3 of them need to be muted. I'm tired. I'm tired, y'all. Tired. Tired. Not tired. Tired. I'm tired. Okay. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired. I'm tired. Oh Lord. Okay, so Kanye West. Over a week ago, he's having something on the runaway. Him and Candace Owens. Hold on, I'm trying to get the next thing I want to show you. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so this was over a week ago. White Lives Matter shirt. There was a beautiful Black woman who was the chief editor of Vogue magazine, who basically harassed and bullied on Twitter because she criticized this justifiably. This White Lives Matter shirt. They ended up meeting, and I guess he ended up apologizing. But a lot of people came to her defense, but I just had a really big problem with these two people, especially these two people. Well, I had a problem with this Black man advocating this White Lives Matter shirt and put it down a Black woman because she disagreed with him. I had a really big problem with that. Really major problem. I want to say it was what, 2 weeks ago? Over a week ago? Because for the most part, I think in this country we can say that white lives have always mattered. So I don't think you need a constant matter. And I think it undermines the Black Lives Matter movement and those people who are really fighting day to day. Then last week, he gets on Twitter. So first he's being anti-Black. Now he's being anti-Semitic on Twitter. So much so he got banned. So this is one of them. Trigger. Let me. Things has been shown for criticism, comment, news reporting, teacher scholarship, and research. This is what he posted. I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is I actually can't be anti-Semitic because Black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toured with me and tried to blackball anyone whoever opposes your agenda. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm upset about this for two reasons. One, we shouldn't be surprised. You were already anti-Black the week before last by saying white lives matter, saying Black Lives Matter was a scam, undermining the movement that actually does help people. Like I said, I have friends who are in the Black Lives Matter movement. There's two chapters here. They didn't get any of that $90 million that the founders of the Black Lives Movement got. They've actually criticized them justifiably for how they've acted. They've actually helped people here in the Houston area. So it's disrespectful when you call them a scam. Now I can see you calling the founders a scam, but not someone who's doing day-to-day work in the community. But now you're anti-Semitic, which really shouldn't surprise us because one, you supported Donald Trump, you met Donald Trump, you're a MAGA hat. And a lot of the things, and plus you're hanging out with Candace Owens, who's ultra conservative, okay? And a lot of the MAGA ultra conservatives, a lot of times, a lot of them criticize the Black Lives Matter movement. Okay. They talk about Democrats being, on a plantation. Some of them are also anti-Semitic. Okay. Some of them are also anti-LGBTQ as well. And you've heard a lot of those things from Donald Trump. But what I also was upset about was that there's some Black people's response to this was, well, we are Jews. Did you forget he was anti-Black last week? With the White Lives Matter shirt? And saying Black Lives Matter was a scam? Did you forget that? Okay. Then there were some people like, yeah, he needs to be careful because Jews, they have power in this country and they run Hollywood, they this and that. Okay, and I'm just like, so you are reiterating a biased, bigoted stereotype about Jewish people. That, by the way, you can say our white patriarchal, white supremacist oppressors have used against Jewish people because they are not Christians, but who also oppress us too. So you are adopted the rhetoric of the white patriarchal supremacist oppressors. Growing up, a lot of the Jews some of the Jews that I knew were wealthy, well off. But my classmates they seem to do pretty well. When I went to New York was the first time I met a different group of Jewish people who were, for the most part, working class, were not rich. And to me, because of my previous experience, it was a shock. Jewish people are a religious minority in this country. Okay. However, because they have skin that is similar to white people, they benefit from white privilege. Also, I think because of the Holocaust, just like after World War II in other countries where they've had wars, they come over as refugees. Also, the groups that were here was pressuring the government, advocating for the government, as they should have, to, hey, I need you to help my people. Okay? All right? Unfortunately, that ended up with the United States supporting the creation of Israel. However, before Israel, the state, existed, it was Palestine. And Jews and Muslims lived side by side for thousands of years, no problem. But when you create one country and not another, it creates an issue. Okay? There are Jewish people in this country who are not Zionists. They believe the Israel that is in the Middle East right now is a man-made one. And there, if you go by scriptures, that is not how Israel is supposed to be formed. Remember, it's a God-given right. The Messiah will return and Israel will be there. The one that they have there, to them, is not them. So when people say, oh, Zionist Jews or Zionism, and I'm just like, okay, not all Jews are Zionists. By the way, there are some Jewish people who are Messianic Jews. They believe Jesus is a Messiah. Okay. There are Black people who have converted, like Sammy Davis Jr., to Judaism. I was watching one documentary about a lady who became one of the first Black female rabbis in the country. Okay. I do disagree with the Black Hebrew Israelites who said that they are one of the original 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. That is my opinion. I'm going by what I've read, what I've heard, scholars and different people. And if you look at the Bible, there were 12 tribes of Israel. One of them was the tribe of Judah. Judah's descendants are called Jews. Okay. So when he says, oh, I'm not being anti-Semitic because Black, no, sir, you are being anti-Semitic. Not all Black people believe that Black people are Jewish as well. All right. Black people are not a monolith. There are Black people who are Muslims. Guess what? People who are Arab or of Arab descent, guess what? They're Semites too, technically. Okay. They are Semites too. Okay. And Black people, can we please? This is a problem I have. This is me talking, y'all. Well, it seems with him being on the Drink Champs, it might be looking like, I think the Black mainstream, like someone like Roland Martin, I think they have canceled him. But it's going to be these other Black pop culture that's going to need to do it too. And I think the Drink Champs, which is headed by rapper Nori, which stands for Noriega, I think his last name is, who actually said he was canceling his appearance because even though they already taped it, but I think some people saw it online though. So I don't know if they've taken all of them offline. I was able to find one copy. I'm going to show you a little bit of it too before they totally wipe it out. But we need to understand something. We should not be over here saying, oh, but he's right about. No. I'm mad about that White Lives Matter shirt. I'm mad about the anti-Semitic remarks. Okay. And I'm damn sure upset about the George Floyd comment he made on Drink Champs. And my thing you didn't understand, if history tells us anything, usually when a person is anti-Black, usually the next thing out their mouth is either anti-Jewish or anti-immigrant. Think about Donald Trump. Think about the MAGA supporters. Think about it. Think about Candace Owens. Think about what's that that man that ran for office in California? Larry Elder. Okay. Think of, there's a cop. He's very conservative. I heard some stuff. I'm just like, dude, are you trying to join them? Like, what's going on? And I believe someone said something about Kanye that was very, very important. Well, two things. One, we can't keep excusing him because he has bipolarism or his mama died. He has weaponized his bipolarism. Okay. We can't keep giving him passes because of his mental illness or his mama dying. You got enough money, you can get help. Your ex-wife tried to help you. Dave Chappelle flew out to Wyoming to check on you. Your friend John Legend one time tried to, hey man, take that out, try to talk to you. I'm sure Chance the Rapper probably talked to you. I saw one video where you yelled at him. I was like, sir, who was left over there? Then your whole White Lives Matter thing, you showed a screenshot of your dad basically agreeing with you. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just not for it. So I'm going to show you this. As a result of his remarks on the drink champs, the mother of George Floyd's daughter, on her behalf, is suing Kanye West for $200 million. And I'm all for it. I feel like right now, I do believe Blacks and Jewish people, in this instance, we need an ally, and he needs to be muted or canceled. I'm tired of him. I'm tired. Thank you, His Lordship. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry what happened to you earlier. Okay? There are Jewish people who own things or run things. Okay? There are also Jewish allies. There are Jewish people, like I said, who do not believe how Palestinians are being treated in Israel is right. There are some who actually say Black Lives Matter. Guess what? We should be saying, guess what? Jewish lives matter too. Jewish people are a religious minority in this country. Okay? In this country, Jewish people and Black people have both been lynched in the South. Also, Hispanic people as well. The South just wanted everything to be black or white. If you wasn't that, it just really messed up their paradigm. But for the most part, if you were Mexican American, Native American, Italian, Jewish, you got treated bad too. Over time, Jewish people, Italians, and Irish who were white enough or assimilated enough could then become part of the white majority. Also, those Hispanic people who said that they were Spanish and not Mexican and were light enough to pass for white. Also, the Black people who were light enough to pass for white as well. Okay? Y'all need to understand that those who are in power, who are trying to reinforce white patriarchy, white supremacy, want other groups not to get along. Because then we can't get together, ally, and overthrow the white supremacist patriarchal power structure. Okay? Do you understand what the words coming out of my mouth? Okay, so I was able to find a because I kept reading the they took it off the air, and I read this article that they were not going to release it, but then I saw someone else on the internet, YouTube, that had it. So I'm just like, also, Drink Champs is part of the Revolt TV. The Revolt TV channel. Okay. On an episode with Nora, he said, "You were back in the culture. Welcome back." I thought that, agrees because it was another race. It would never have been tolerated. Did he say this on this episode or the one from last year? Because he also invited him last year too. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, the timestamps in the comments. Okay. What are timestamps? Okay. Oh, here are the timestamps. Thank you. All right. Yellow Jewish media. Oh Lord. I'll put this in the description. But I think also Nori, because he started getting a lot of criticism afterwards. He's like, okay, y'all, this is not what I want to happen, so I'm not gonna show it. Okay, where is he? Wait, where is the thing he said about George Floyd? Do you know which part it was? Huh? Or was that a separate statement? Do you know what part of it? I'm looking at the timestamps. Kanye's on. I try to people co-sign. Thank you, because he deserves every bit of it. Every bit. Okay, it said he talked about George Floyd, but where did he talk about George Floyd? And the words he said about George Floyd, he got that from Candace Owens. She did like a whole documentary, and she said that. And I've heard that from other people who were against the George Floyd protests. They're like, oh, he didn't die of this. He died of fentanyl in his system. Okay. He talked about the Jewish media 3 times. Really? Okay. Do you know? No. Oh, he does refer to Candace Owens on Dr. George Floyd. No, but what I'm saying, respective angle, this is a whole nother channel, and they have his whole interview on there. And this person put timestamps. Okay, I'm here. Within the first hour, he talked about George Floyd several times. That keep talking, I will find it. Okay, thank you. Because you said within the first hour. Let's see.
If you look, the guy, they hit him with the.
Okay. All right. I think this. Hold on. Okay, I'm a. Yeah, they say he's buying Parlor. Okay, it's in the description. Right, Nappy Yankee. He's only black when it's convenient. Like, oh, look how they looking at me because they're doing it because I'm black. But last week, before last, you talking about White Lives Matter. Sorry, which one is it? Okay, I'm looking at the Young Turks. They seem if you look, okay, I have the whole video in the whole episode, but on their timestamps, they don't say George Floyd. Okay, I see the Young Turks have it. So let's look at the Young Turks, y'all. Okay, this is what is getting him sued by, because George Floyd family has decided to sue him. And deservedly so. Okay.
They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend.
Kanye West felt the need to repeat right-wing propaganda.
They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend.
Kanye West.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Human First. I found it. It was at minute 15, 13-second mark. So thank you. I appreciate that. Can y'all hear me now? But did you hear the? But did you hear the Young Turks clip or no? Okay. Can y'all hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. Is it the 15-minute? Okay. Oh, you heard it. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Thank you for my chapstick. I've been dry all day. Okay. All right. So this I found. Thank you. I'm Human First for finding that. Is it the 15-minute, 13-second mark? Okay. So I'm gonna mute myself and go listen to Kanye. I'm gonna come back with some more commentary. All right. Before I play it, okay. You gotta do this. This video is protected by Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act of 1976, allowing us to make for fair use for purposes of criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research.
Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his two roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna cry in front of y'all because that's how they get me, right?
Right.
But I know that we lost him. And I know that this white company, Louis Vuitton, is now making statues of him. Like, you understand? Now go and get y'all some motherfucking business while we go and get free. Because I'm Moses out here. You know what I'm saying? I watched the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put up. One of the things that his two roommates said was, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. And the day when he died, he said a prayer for, 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. He said a prayer for 8 minutes. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. When he said mama, mama is his girlfriend. They said he screamed for his mama. Mama was his girlfriend. It's in the documentary. But something that hit me, that fucked me up when I was watching the documentary, and it said, they want a tall guy like me. When I looked at that image of him, this tall black dude with the bald head, he reminded me of somebody else. Who you think he reminded me of?
Virgil.
He reminded me of Virgil. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna cry in front of y'all because that's how they get me, right?
Right.
But I know that we lost him. And I know that this white company, Louis Vuitton, is now making statues of him, like as a martyr.
Okay, I'm gonna put the link in here for the rest of the interview. Start at the 15 minute and 13-second mark. I'm still trying to figure out who gave him the fentanyl. Who is this? He that gave him the fentanyl. And you just said, I saw the Candace Owens documentary. So you believe and he's like, and his knee wasn't even on the man's neck like that? Excuse me, that has a whole report. A whole report. A whole court. A jury said they looked at it. Okay. I believe the family, didn't his family do a separate autopsy and say how he died? I'm tired. And that's what I'm trying to figure out, dude. Are you in a manic phase right now? Or are you in the middle of a nervous breakdown? Like when you was trying to run for president, you was in South Carolina saying something about your daughter or your wife and an abortion and crying and stuff. I can't. I just mute everybody. I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah, I'm just tired. Fix it, Jesus. Help us, Mama Oye. And by the way, I had a problem with him saying, oh, he was a black man with a bald head. Guess who he looked like? Oh, Virgil. Okay. So for those of you who don't know who Virgil is, Virgil, I think it's Virgil Abloh, was a Black designer. I want to say, was it Vogue or Balenciaga? Oh, what is wrong on my screen? Vogue or Balenciaga, I think. And he died suddenly. And he's trying to associate George Floyd with Virgil Abloh. Sir, didn't that man who worked at Vogue, who stood up for the Black woman you talked bad about, said, sir, and I think he tried to say that that man's company, did he work for Vogue or Louis Vuitton? Did you try to say that the company had something to do with Virgil's death? And the man clapped back at you and said, sir, how come you weren't invited to the funeral? And you are still speaking on Virgil. Thank y'all so much for watching. Almost 2 hours here with me on a Tuesday night. I appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. I do my best to put in the timestamps so that those of you who are going to watch the replay or those of you want to come back in case you missed anything. Also, I'm going to have the links in the description in case you want to go back to those websites. Okay? Thank you. I'm Human First, and B, Naps, Respective Angle, His Lordship, Lindsay, okay, Black Anonymous, Teresa Jackson, LHK Presents, Various Perspectives, Josephine, Mrs. Murph, who else? I don't know. Jay the Informant. Thank you so much for dropping by. Mikey XF23. Thank you so much. Y'all have a very good night. It's time to mute Mo, Larry, and Curly. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Tired, y'all. Bye. Okay, boy. Bye.